Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to episode 133 of the Stone Age Gamer podcast for the week of January 6th, 2017. I am Kris Randazzo, and joining me as always is impending debut Dan Ryan.
Good evening.
It's the new year and we're still just happy to be here because we are relevant. You hear that, Tiff?
We certainly are relevant.
We mean something. But while there are a multitude of reasons to fear with just absolute terror what 2017 will bring, tonight Dan and I are going to focus on some potentially good stuff, and by good stuff we mean video games. But before we go any further, here is your weekly reminder that you can email us at mail@geekade.com and let us know what you think of our show, what topics you would like us to discuss in the future, or just say hello, because we always want to hear from you, the listener. So Dan, how are you?
I'm good, Kris. I am tired and a little upset that I had to work today and was not able to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 11 live. And I'm moving in a couple days, so I won't get to watch it until, probably Saturday at the earliest. So I don't know. And nobody tweet me this. Like, please, I don't want any spoilers. Like, but I don't know if Geekade Twitter follower Kenny Omega is the new IWGP heavyweight champion or not. He very well could be at this moment, but right now, I don't know.
I don't either.
And I hope he is.
You know what, I do too, because
Kenny
follows
Omega's
us on Twitter.
the man, and he follows us on Twitter. That's awesome. We are also followed by the current cruiserweight champion in WWE, Rich Swann. So that's pretty cool.
Look at that.
My articles get traction.
Call us irrelevant.
Yeah, right? Come on now. So anyway,
yeah. Let's see. We're going to do a 2017 year in preview. But first, I was contacted earlier today by our friend Jeffrey Wittenhagen, who was on the show a few weeks ago. He's got another book, the one that he mentioned on the show that he's working about, and the Kickstarter page for it is open. It's called Nintendo Oddities and Homebrew Revolution. There's going to be a link to the Kickstarter in the show notes. The book looks pretty neat, so give it a look-see.
Yeah, all that homebrew stuff and like all the weird stuff that comes out for Nintendo now, like that's all pretty cool.
It is. Well, actually, we'll be mentioning one of those homebrew games later in the show. There's something coming out next year that I think looks really neat.
This year, Kris.
This year. Crap! It is 2017.
It is.
I've dreaded this year so much. But
in the year of our Jeebus, 2017.
Oh, crikey.
When the world ends today is January 4th, so we have 16 days before Operation Impending Doom 3. We are.
Pull some levers.
I feel like Trump's presidency is going to be exactly like Invader Zim. I feel like he has that level of control.
He is a lower energy president man. He's all yours, Santa. I love Invader Zim. Okay.
Anyway, so
let's see. We're gonna go through this list in what is not any real order, because I just pulled a bunch of names off of Wikipedia of games that are coming out next year, plus various other things I looked at to find out any titles I may have missed. And some of them have dates, but most of them don't. So I'm not even going to bother with dates. We're just going to talk about them going forward. So we'll start off with a bang here. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, Dream Drop Distance, Omega Alpha over 2, Heart Symphony of Justice Remix.
What is this game even about?
It's I think it's all of the games in the series so far, right? It's
okay. I'm looking up right now. It is a successor to Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix.
Oh, of course.
Let me see. This is
it really only has 3 games in it, huh?
It includes a high-definition remaster of Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance, and then new content, Kingdom Hearts Cross Back Cover. I guess it's Kingdom Hearts X, but we call that a cross now because we're dumb. is a
Oh, it's-
cinematic based on.
I love this. But you're looking at the Wikipedia page?
Yeah.
Please, just read the Wikipedia explanation of this, please.
The first Kingdom Hearts Cross back cover is a cinematic based on Kingdom Hearts Cross that details events not shown in the other original game. The other, Kingdom Hearts 0.2, Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage.
A fragmentary passage.
God damn it. Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, you could have like Final Fantasy is on Final Fantasy 15. We could be on Kingdom Hearts 15 and that would be fine.
Street Fighter has made it to 5.
Kingdom Hearts 0.2, Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage. Oh my goodness. It takes place after the events of Birth by Sleep from the perspective of Aqua. I don't know. Those are the 9th and 10th installments in the Kingdom Hearts series. Call them Kingdom Hearts 9 and 10.
Good God.
And be done with it. I am uninterested in this because of the name.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this on the breakup show. I've tagged out of Kingdom Hearts. I cannot. I can't
done.
do this anymore.
I'm full. Thank you. I'm driving.
Because something tells me when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, it's not going to be like we're going to be effing lost if we didn't play all this other swill. And I'm not. Who has time for this? Not me. Not I, said the Kris.
No.
I'm tagging out.
This
All
next
right.
one, though, I'm super excited about, which I didn't think was a thing I would say.
Yeah,
ever
you know
again.
what? All right, so we're talking about Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the thing that excited me, like that really sold me on it, was the logo.
Yeah. It's
In
cool.
both America and Japan, the way that they fit the 7 into the words Resident Evil, and then in Japan they made the 7 like part of the Z in Biohazard.
Yeah, it was cool.
Come on, that's great. That's really great.
I really like the switch to first person. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed playing Outlast. For the brief period that I played it before Tiff and I bitched out because we were like, oh god, this is really scary. Because it was terrifying. But the first person viewpoint in a horror game is so much more immersive and it's just really cool. And the demo for this game was really fun. Like I really legitimately enjoyed it more than I have a Resident Evil game in 10 years.
Yeah, you said you didn't care for 4, right?
It's good. I don't think 4 was the masterpiece that everybody else thought it was. Mm-hmm. It's a good game, but like I wasn't so blown away by it. But
Gotcha.
I mean, like 5 and 6, I didn't even play.
Yeah.
Like
No,
and the first person like shooter ones that came out, the on rail shooters,
Those were cute.
They were okay, but like they weren't a good Resident Evil game.
No,
you know?
I mean, they were nice side stories, but then
Yeah.
something like, what was the Dead Space one that was like that? That outdid that in no time. And then even House of the Dead Overkill was hysterical. And there was competition for those kinds of games, and I feel like the Resident Evil ones did well, but I feel like, I don't know, it would have been... I love light gun games. I absolutely love light gun games.
So do I.
And it was one of those situations where it's like, well, it's great because it's on the Wii and it controls great because of the pointer, but it's still like standard definition.
Yeah,
it's still not like,
exactly
they look
what I want.
nice, but I'm ready for HD at this point in my life,
Yeah.
and I want my arcade style light gun shooters to be fair, they did try good things in those games. Like they really fleshed out what a light gun shooter could be. Like
They did.
giving
There
you
were
lots
some
of
cool
options.
ideas, and
Made it feel a little less arcadey, but I see.
Yeah.
But they weren't. It wasn't like they were offshoots. They were
Mm-hmm.
not proper Resident Evil games, and I adored 4, but I also had a zero love for 5 and 6. They did nothing for me. So this one, again, I have very little. I haven't paid attention to it much because it's one of those games that's not on a platform. It's not coming to a platform that I have access to. So I'm like, this looks really cool. So I'm not going to torture myself with it too much. Except there's been a lot of rumors that it's coming to Switch, which honestly wouldn't surprise me in the least because Resident Evil has a pretty solid history with Nintendo platforms.
yeah, absolutely.
Dating back to the GameCube. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
This is one I think would be really fun to play in VR too. I think it would be a really interesting experience to play in VR. To have, because that sort of scary thing right in your face like that, I think is a really interesting way to take VR. You know.
Agreed.
I don't know.
That's just about
Maybe
the
not.
only interesting way to take VR. But
Yeah. Well, I disagree. We'll find out soon. I'm going to
Yeah.
buy one. I've decided.
okay,
I'm buying
well,
one.
tell me all about it.
I will.
From
You
the
can come over
Matrix. I can virtually.
to my new house.
Uh-huh.
Yay, new house.
This next one here, I was completely unaware of until
Yeah,
I looked
out of
it up.
nowhere.
Double Dragon 4,
Fuck yeah.
and right now it's currently listed for Windows and PS4. I was
Love
kind
having
of
a PS4.
I will say I was really disappointed when I didn't see Switch listed on here.
Yeah.
Specifically because this isn't like, it is specifically, very specifically a sequel to the NES versions
Yeah.
of Double Dragon 1 through 3.
Oh yeah, it looks shitty.
It's not
it looks
even
terrible.
like the trailer is they say Double Dragon 1 and they show the NES version, which is very distinct.
Yeah,
like
very.
there was no other version that looked or played like the NES version.
Nope.
Double Dragon 2 The Revenge, again, not the arcade game, definitely the NES one. Same with Double Dragon 3 The Sacred Stones, not the arcade game, the Rosetta Stone. It also completely ignores Super Double Dragon 5, and Double Dragon Neon. So this is like a complete...
Which is a shame. Double Dragon Neon is fucking awesome.
Double Dragon Neon is awesome.
It's so fun.
It is really cool. I love it as a sort of an offshoot. Like,
Yeah, it's so fun. It's a great beat 'em up. Like, it's a really solid beat 'em up game.
it is, and it was just a. I mean, it's what is it? I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of this company. They did Way Forward. It was Way Forward, and they don't make crappy games, generally speaking. And it was a real return to form for Double Dragon because there hadn't been a good one for a long time. The best Double Dragon game in recent memory before that was Double Dragon Advance, which was basically a remake of the first one. So
Yeah.
this game looks crazy to me. Like, I'm really stoked about it. I've heard in the most recent issue of Nintendo Force, another game we'll talk about later, they were talking about how indie developers who are making games for Switch have been asked politely to not really say anything until the reveal event. So I've got my fingers crossed that this thing's coming to Switch. I mean, it's not a technical marvel or anything.
No.
So it's not like it would be difficult to put this elsewhere, but it also strikes me kind of like another game we'll talk about later, Blaster Master Zero, where it's like they didn't really have a big budget, so they just stuck with one platform. And
Right,
PC.
which is certainly possible.
It is, but I don't know, man. I think it looks great. It looks like old school Double Dragon. It's like those old. It's using the Double Dragon 2 sprites, which I think is interesting because like the Double Dragon 3 ones, I think were a little nicer. But I think the Double Dragon 2 sprites are the ones that are more well known, especially since Double Dragon 2 was in the NES Classic Edition that just released. So, but I mean, it has them doing all sorts of new moves and stuff, and it's got an almost Shovel Knight vibe going on with the like 8-bit graphics, but not really going
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm jazzed. It looks great.
totally out of left field too.
Yeah, had no clue this was coming. On the other side of the spectrum, in the realm of games I could not conceivably care less about, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World for 3DS.
Who in the bluest of hells is Poochie?
Oh, you don't. That's right. You aren't really much of a Mario platformer fan.
No, it's not like if it's Poochie from The Simpsons, then I'm in.
No. Poochie is this like, he was in the original Yoshi's Island for Super Nintendo, and he's like this helper dog thing that looked ridiculous until Yoshi's Woolly World. Then he, for some reason in Yarn, that thing is absolutely adorable. So, but this is just a remake of Yoshi's Woolly World. And while I loved that game, I thought it was fantastic, I don't have any reason to play this again on 3DS. And I guess this is aimed at all of those people that don't have a Wii U but have a 3DS. But like,
So
I don't know,
most
man.
of the people.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the cross-section of people who really want to play a Yoshi game, chances are they're Wii U owners like me. I don't know. I don't get this. I mean, I guess I kind of get it, but this is not for me. And part of the mechanically speaking, Yoshi's Woolly World is incredibly sound. It's a super fun game, but a big part of the charm is the visuals, and this game, not in HD, is not going to look good.
No.
I mean, the Poochie amiibo makes me happy. I'm super happy that that's a thing, because I'll buy a yarn Poochie to put next to my yarn Yoshi, because it's just adorable. But
Sure.
I'm not playing this game again, and if I am, I'm playing it on my Wii U. Cause
I'm not playing this game. I think
that's kind of a
I'm
shame.
at.
It's a really solid game. It's.
I'm sure it is. I just don't like them. I just don't. They're not bad. They're just not for me.
Well, are you comparing it to a Mario platformer, or have you played a Yoshi game before? Because they are actually pretty different animals.
I'm sure I have at some point, but they're just not characters I'm interested in. You know, and they never have been. I've never been a big Mario fan.
Yeah, you haven't. I will say that. I will say that Yoshi's Island for Super Nintendo is one of my favorite games of all time. There hasn't been a single good sequel to it. Not one.
Well,
not Yoshi's Story, not Yoshi's New Island, not Yoshi's Island DS, not Yoshi's Island, whatever. There has not been a single good sequel to it until this one. Okay. And it's a wholly unique game. It plays very differently from a Mario platformer.
It looks very neat, and I think I would watch a Let's Play of it, but that's about as far as I would go.
All right.
You know? Now, the next game that we have on our list, I think I would play Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World before I would play Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, same here.
I could not give a shit less.
I forgot they were even making this.
Why? Is Halo still a thing? Like, is it still popular?
I don't know, man. I've fallen so out of touch with anything Microsoft related since the Xbox 360.
Me too.
It's like,
because you had a 360, right?
I did, and I still do, and I used to use it a lot. I spent a lot of time on my 360. I have not a ton, but I have a very decent selection of games from the 360. But once this new generation took hold, I just didn't have any interest in the Xbox One. Like, be it the price, be it the games, be it the fact that the PlayStation 4 is... The PS4 and the Xbox One seem like almost the same system to me, except the PS4 has better games, a better controller, and I don't know, I just like the PlayStation architecture better, I guess. I don't know, there's something about the Xbox One that has rubbed me the wrong way since the get-go, and I'm pretty sure a big part of it's the name, but...
That's part of it. There is only one game on this list that we're going to talk about that I am upset is exclusive to the Xbox. And we're going to get to it in like 5 games.
Oh, yeah, me too. But there's no way that's staying exclusive.
It can't.
There's no way. There's just no friggin' way.
So, Halo Wars 2, it's a thing that's happening.
It sure is. If you care about Halo Wars, please let me know. But
because it's like an RTS, isn't it?
It is. And I heard the first one was pretty decent. But again, we're talking about... two tastes that I could not conceivably care less molded together to make one big game that I could not conceivably care less about.
See, and I really like RTS games. I enjoy them quite a bit, but they've always been dodgy at best on a controller. Mm-hmm. And mixing it with the Halo universe, I don't care. It's kind of how I feel about what happened to Destiny. Like, I know we were talking, a year and a half ago when Destiny came out, and I got it on the PS4, and I was really enjoying it. And like now, there's a bunch of stuff that's happening in Destiny that I just don't care. They just made it Halo.
That stinks.
I mean, and maybe they didn't. Maybe that statement is unequivocally false, that Destiny is just Halo, but that's kind of what it seems to me, and I just completely lost interest in it. So, whatever.
All right. Speaking of whatever, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. I didn't even know they were making a new Ghost Recon. When was the last Ghost Recon?
No idea.
I
thought it was pretty good, though. I do think I remember the last Ghost Recon, reviewing favorably and whatnot.
That's the thing. Ghost Recon games in general, I've heard really good things about. You know what actually freaks me out to this day? There is a contingent of people and, real serious fans that there was a Ghost Recon game released on the 3DS real close to its inception that I think is also an RTS that you control with the touchscreen.
Okay.
That is just supposed to be amazing, just through the roof amazing.
Really?
And it has a very, very big following. Not a big, a very serious following. Like the fans of that game are like, holy crap, I can't believe how good this is. I remember a handful of people were telling me I needed to play it back when it first came out on 3DS, but I was too busy playing other 3DS games. But yeah, I guess I put it on the list because it's one of those names that I know a lot of people care about. I'm not one of them, but I mean, it's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. I'm sure it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is too. I've never been a big Ghost Recon fan. Team-based or like squad-based shooters have never really been my thing. So
Same here.
Yeah, I'm just never been into it. I do think the last one was, or maybe I'm thinking of the last Rainbow Six.
See, that's my other problem. I can't tell them apart.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, even a little bit.
The only Tom Clancy's game that I can clearly tell apart from any of the other ones is Sum of All Fears, because it was a GameCube exclusive and terrible.
Well, and Splinter Cell. I mean,
that's true. Yeah, Splinter Cell is pretty unique. So, all right. It's Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six that I get messed up.
Yeah. And Sum of All Fears.
And Sum of All Fears. So, next on the list, Tom Clancy's ukulele. No.
Tom Clancy's ukulele I would be into.
I would play that. I know. I mean, I think we mentioned this on the show before. I'm pretty jazzed about this. It's not right up my alley. I wasn't a big Banjo-Kazooie fan, but I really appreciate what they're doing here. This is another one of those Mighty Number 9 Bloodstained situations where it's the creators wanted to make a new game in their series, and then the people who owned the series were like, no, we want to do something else. And so they're like, fine, we're going to make it. We're just going to call it something else. So here's Yooka-Laylee coming out for PC, Mac, PS4, Xbox One, and extreme. I can't remember if it's been confirmed or not for Switch, because like they had to cancel the Wii U version. We did the whole thing on this before, but
yeah,
I think it's all but confirmed for Switch. I think it's one of those instances where like we're not allowed to announce that we're making a Switch version of this game.
Yeah,
but if we were, it would be called Yooka-Laylee for Switch.
If we were to release a Yooka-Laylee type game for the Switch, we would call like the characters are cute, you know.
Yeah. Looks nice.
Yeah, it looks fine. I think this is a game that my kids would enjoy playing. It is definitely not for me. I know people are excited that it's like the team that was behind Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, but Rare has been just a fucking shell of what it used to be. I don't know if these guys are responsible for some of the bullshit that they've put out recently, but
no, not at all. These are the guys that were part of Rare during the N64 era.
Okay.
So like they had nothing to do with like nuts and bolts and stuff like that. They got the classic folks on there, not the stuff from the 16-bit and 8-bit era, which are like the Stamper brothers. I'm pretty sure the Stampers aren't involved in this, but still, I mean, this looks like a real return form for 3D collectathon platformers, which I've never been a fan of, but I understand the draw. And if you're a fan of that stuff, there's no question in my mind that this is going to come out great, because this looks very good. It looks like a game that was made with lots of attention and care. It was a Kickstarter that was very well funded, and this is striking me much more positively than Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, certainly.
Speaking of Kickstarter, Shenmue 3.
I am happy this exists.
Me too.
I will not play it.
Me
I didn't play the first two.
I played most of the first one. I never finished it, and I never got around to the second one. I was kind of holding out hope it was going to come out on Dreamcast, and then it didn't, and then it came out on Xbox, and I think it came out relatively same. I wound up getting it around the same time as I got Panzer Dragoon Orta. And there was just no way I was touching anything but Panzer Dragoon Orta at that moment.
Sure.
Sorry, I don't care about anything else. There's a new Panzer Dragoon game. I bought it. I'm playing it. It's gorgeous. I love it. So
this is the only thing that is happening.
Yeah, I freaking love Panzer Dragoon. But yeah, I'm so glad it's happening. I'm still a little burned by the weird Kickstarter thing they did with it, where they were like, oh no, this Sony is paying for it. We just wanted to know how many people were interested in giving us money for it.
Yeah, we just want to know how many we're going to sell.
Yeah, I didn't really care.
It was
for that,
weird,
but whatever needed to happen to get them to finish the damn story.
Yeah.
Like, because I have my friend Mauricio is a huge fan of the Shenmue games. He's been begging for Shenmue 3 for years. And Ryan, Strange Gamers, Ryan Cross, he's a huge Shenmue fan. So obviously there is demand for this. I'm so glad it's happening. Good for them. Again, it's probably not something I'm going to play. I didn't really enjoy Shenmue. Like, I thought the story was neat, but I didn't enjoy playing the game.
Right.
And that's kind of where this game falls off for me.
Yeah, and I've always felt very similarly to that. Like, if I want a good story, I'll read a book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, or I'll watch a movie. If I'm playing a video game, the game has to be good too.
Yeah, like
it's
Uncharted
part and parcel
is
of the whole
fun
thing.
and engrossing.
Yeah, you know, like I can play a game with no story if the game is fun, but if it's just a good story and a shitty game, I'm not going to play it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll read.
Or you'll read in the game.
That's good. No, I will not.
All right, this is another game I'm pretty happy exists. Crackdown 3.
Yeah, the first one was super fun.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun to mess around with. Not a game that I invested a lot of time with.
Yeah,
but,
same here.
Yeah, I was like, wow,
Fun.
this is cool.
It was neat. I was glad they made a second one. I'm glad they're making a third. I'm glad that the fans of Crackdown are going to get a new Crackdown game.
Yeah. That's about all I have to say about that one, though. I don't.
I'm glad it's a thing that exists. It's not for me, but I'm glad it's out there. Cuphead. Oh, Cuphead.
Oh, Cuphead.
This game looks like everything I want out of my life.
Yep.
And it is only on Xbox One.
That breaks my heart. This is the only thing. I have considered trying to talk my wife into buying an Xbox One so that I can play Cuphead. But then I remember that it's coming out on the PC, and even though I have but in a very long time, I have not purchased a game on a PC console. That's not a thing. A PC.
You have just offended the master race, Dan.
Oh, fuck them. They can all go screw. I might buy this I might get a Steam account, of which I don't have one currently. I think I'm like the one person left that does not have a Steam account. And I might buy Cuphead because this looks gorgeous. I love everything about this game. I love the fact that this looks like the old weird Betty Boop cartoons, but like fluidly animated in like 60 frames per second and just weird nonsense. Oh God, I want it. I want it so bad.
Yeah, it is pure delight. I've been in love with this game since they showed it off at E3, 2 years ago?
God, it was almost 4 years ago.
Crikey. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was. I was still working at the comic book store at that point.
I was living in Texas at the time. And I've moved 2 states since then.
The game looks mind-blowing. I love the art direction. I feel like the gameplay is going to be solid. I seriously hope that it is, because I want this to do extraordinarily well. I want this to be like Axiom Verge was on PS4, where it was like, oh, this game's amazing and everyone needs to play it, so we're going to put it on everything. Like,
yeah, or like Shovel Knight.
Exactly.
Or Guacamelee.
Exactly. You've got it nailed to a T. I want this to do well enough that everybody gets to try it, because this is one of those games that's just like, I really want to play it, but I don't want to buy an Xbox One for it. And I feel bad saying it, because like, if this was a Switch exclusive, I'd be like, no, don't port it to anything else ever. I want it to be mine.
I only want it on here. Meh.
But I don't know. This game looks amazing. It's one of my most anticipated games of the year. I want it to come out, and I want it to just set the world on fire. I want it to do really well for itself.
I really hope it doesn't suck.
Me too, because that's the thing. Like, there's every chance that mechanically it could fall apart. Like, it could just be really basic and not very fun, and that would make me so sad.
Yeah, it could be Alien Hominid, and that would break my heart.
Oh yeah,
because I like Alien Hominid.
Yeah, I like
the way it looks,
love it.
But it controls like dog balls.
Oh God, playing that game on the GameCube was rough, man. The tiny D-pad.
God, it was awful.
Oh, Jesus.
It was awful. And only a few of our listeners are like, Alien Hominid, what the fuck is that? It was a Flash game that they ported to the GameCube, and everybody was super excited because it was a really great Flash game and a really mediocre GameCube game.
Yeah, it was a great Flash game, and it was like a Contra style game, which Cuphead is also. It's a very similar experience, I think, just from what I've seen. So I don't know. Fingers crossed. Dragon Quest XI, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and 3DS.
Yeah, I like it. I love the Dragon Quest games. I'm not going to play it because I don't have time.
I feel like, oh god, I want to look into this, but I feel like there was some sort of like wacky thing with the 3DS version where the 3DS one looks like an old game. Like it's the same game, but on PS4 and Switch it's going to be all fancy schmancy, and the 3DS one is going to look like an old Nintendo game or something.
See, if that's the case, I will probably buy it on the 3DS because that's cool.
That is really cool. I like the PS4 and Switch versions might have an option to change to that. I don't know. I could be pulling this out of my ass. I feel like I heard that somewhere. I should have done more research before the episode. But yeah, Dragon Quest XI. Keep them coming. I mean,
they're great.
They're great. They're great.
Every single one is great. Artwork. And they don't do weird shit like Final Fantasy has done.
Oh, they do. I mean, they've gone MMO with this more than once.
But not the way that Final Fantasy
Yeah,
is.
It's true. Not the way Final Fantasy
They stay true to their aesthetic, I suppose.
There is definitely a root to Dragon Quest that doesn't really change. They tend to make a way to make them feel like Dragon Quest above all else.
Yeah.
Freedom Planet 2. Freedom Planet really surprised me. It's a fun game.
Never played it.
It's Sonic.
Is it?
It's Sonic the Hedgehog. It started off as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan project, and then they turn it into their own IP, and it's better than anything Sonic has done in years. It's just like it plays like Sonic. Except it's got melee attacks in it, and it's really solid. I played through like half the Wii U version before getting distracted by other games. And
does it play good. Like Sonic the Adventure, like the 3D games,
Sonic 2, or like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, the Genesis games? Okay. It's like if you liked those games, like the old good Sonic games, the reason the character's popular, then you'll like this. I did not like them. Well, then you won't like that either. This probably isn't for me. No, definitely not. But if you do like those old games, like I do, it's really good. And Freedom Planet 2 looks pretty snazzy. So good on them. I'm very proud of them for making. I don't think the name's very good. The character design is okay. There's some really weird anime-style nonsensical story, but it plays like old Sonic, which I like. There you go. This next one I'm pretty excited about. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series. It's a weird, like... How the fuck is Guardians of the Galaxy popular? It does not make any sense. That was like a property that sat like way in the back of my mind. Is like, I've seen that somewhere. Like, I think I've read a comic called that once before. There's a guy named Vance Astro, I think, and the fucking weird dude named Yondu, and then you go to see the movie in the theater, and somehow a tree makes you cry. Yeah. And all it does is say, "We are Groot," instead of "I am Groot," and you tear up. That's fucking powerful. It was such an amazing experience seeing that movie. And then the comic book has been really good, and everything for the sequel, the movie sequel, looks amazing. And it's got Kurt Russell in it playing Ego, the fucking living planet. Like that's insane. But this looks great. I mean, Telltale, people get bored of their formula. Like, it doesn't always work to blow everyone away. You know, like the first Walking Dead Telltale game, everybody's, oh my God. And then they've all just kind of been that since then. And they had made games before The Walking Dead. They have a pretty good Jurassic Park game that's fun, and a Back to the Future one that's fun. You know, this kind of choose your own adventure with minimal interaction stuff, but it's done very, very well. There's so much possibility for this, though. Yeah, they can get really weird with it. Like, I'm really excited about this one. It's announced for consoles and PC, so yeah, it's coming to the Telltale games come to everything. They look great, but they don't require a lot. There's even been a handful of them on the Wii U, so
Yeah.
I would venture to say these will probably come to Switch.
Yeah. Was The Wolf Among Us on Wii U? Because that one's amazing.
I don't think so. I honestly don't remember.
That one's great. I really want to play the Batman one. I haven't gotten around to it. But the Game of Thrones one was really solid. For people who like Borderlands, I heard the Borderlands one was really good. I am not a Borderlands fan, but
Me neither.
I feel like there's something there that I should get that I just don't get, kind of like Overwatch.
Yeah.
But whatever. This one, Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale, I'm in.
All right.
And they're $5 at a time.
Starting to run a little long, so let's
Sorry.
blast through these next ones. Injustice 2.
Yay.
Yay.
The first one was fun.
I don't care. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
like
only care
Injustice.
because I got it for free. It was a PS Plus game.
Yeah, I guess
So-
for free I'd take it. I don't
That
like
was fun.
NetherRealm Studios the way they animate characters.
Yeah.
I think it looks dumb.
It's weird.
Yeah. Mario Sports Superstars. Okay, it's on 3DS, sure. I haven't been jazzed about a Mario Sports game in a long time. They haven't been very good in a long time, but this one is being co-developed by Namco, I think, and Camelot Studios, the ones that have made the good Mario Sports games in the past, so could be fun. It's got horse racing in it.
I love horse
Don't
racing.
know why.
This
is it,
isn't
like
for me, but you know.
Baseball, soccer, horse racing, whatever. Good on you.
How there
Way to
was
stay
never
alive, 3DS.
how there was never a Mario skateboarding game. That still baffles me, but
Yeah,
whatever.
that's pretty bizarre. Skateboarding, and I mean, I understand why American football didn't happen because it's a Japanese company. But
Yeah, sure. But like skateboarding at the popularity of Tony Hawk and Skate and Thrasher and all that shit,
yeah,
like
how did that not happen? Or at least have the Mario characters I mean, they put them in freaking NBA Street. How did they not wind up in a skateboarding game?
that was pretty fun actually.
That
But
was pretty fun.
anyway.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. We've talked about this on the show already.
Fuck, I want it to be good.
Me too.
Really do.
I
really
same
want it to
here.
be good.
Really want it to be good. Want to know what the full roster is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I hope there's some weird characters. Like I want Shuma Gorath back.
Yeah,
You know,
I would like to see Shuma Gorath back. I mean, he's been around since he's been in all of them, hasn't he? Was he in the first one? I don't remember him in the first one.
I don't think
Maybe he was an
was.
assist trophy. Thanks, Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
an
Jesus.
assist character in the first one. I don't remember. I want to see, and I'm not just saying this on behalf of Evan. I want to see Moon Knight.
Oh god, it has to happen at some point.
It does. It really does. That would just be awesome.
I get the argument for Daredevil. Like
As do I. He could be really interesting.
he could be fun. Like
If they could he could just be a clone of Spider-Man, which would suck. But
Right.
he could be really interesting character, especially if they have him move really weird.
Yeah.
Because like the fact that he's blind could really be off-putting to people trying to like figure out which direction you're facing. You know, like to try
Yeah,
to
it
get
could be
behind you for a
cool.
combo. Like that could really, really screw people up.
there could be some neat stuff to do with that. But Moon Knight just makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, in a
Let's have
fighting
Moon
game, like just make a Moon Knight fighting game. Like I just want Moon Knight beating people up.
64 characters, all Moon Knight.
All Moon Knight, all different variations of the Fist of
all of his
Khonshu.
different personalities.
Yeah, that works.
That does
fucking
work,
a Jake
actually.
Lockley in a fighting game. Jesus.
All right, last one before the break. Mass Effect Andromeda. Do you care?
I'm happy that it exists. The Mass Effect games are really good. But again, they're just not things I have time for.
Like, yeah, same here. This is going to be solid. I know there's a lot of people I know that are really stoked about it, and I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
I don't care. I got this whole big news story this week. They're like, Mass Effect Andromeda is not coming to Switch, and I'm just like, yeah, and? They're like, Mass Effect 3 sold poorly on Wii U. Yeah, it came out like a year afterwards, and there was no
Yeah.
DLC. There's big surprise there that they're not going to make any more Mass Effect.
Right.
Like, yeah, if Switch is super successful, they'll probably port it at some point. But yeah, I'm not expecting this one to be on there.
No.
Whatever.
I'm sure it's
Yay,
going to be
Mass
great,
Effect
though.
Andromeda. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Good on everybody. So we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about we're going to do some quick listener mail, and then talk about the rest of the games that we think are going to be interesting in 2017. You are listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast on Geekade.com, so stick around. And now here's a look at some of the other original content available right now at Geekade.com. First up, Happy New Year to all our listeners. If you found yourself enjoying the annual New Year's Twilight Zone Marathon on Sci-Fi, or Sci-Fi...
Siffy.
Why? Sci-Fi. Why would you... Whatever. Then do we have the podcast for you? Our episode-by-episode Twilight Zone podcast is already neck-deep into its second season. This week, Brandon and his buddy Pat analyzed Dust, a great little tale about looking for magic within your own heart. Catch up on this and all 60 other episodes of Submitted for Your Approval right here on geekade.com or over on our sister site, apatheticenthusiasm.com, where they also post Submitted for Your Approval, or on iTunes or Stitcher or anywhere else. The podcast is out there.
I'm really glad you didn't say balls deep, because that would have been... This is a classy show.
I thought about it.
I know you did. I heard
thought about it, and then I thought, no, this is a classy show.
Next, have you ever thought to yourself, where can I find out more about obscure comic book characters?
I think that all the time.
I do too. Well, do we have the article series for you? This month, Jonathan Fugger helps us get to know Arclight, a rarely seen mutant villain in the X-Men universe who gets a kick out of killing her own kind. Don't miss Welcome to the D-List, Arclight. I always liked Arclight. She was a cool character.
I didn't even really know about her, to be honest.
Yeah, she's cool.
I remembered seeing her in that crappy Abomination X-Men 3 and thinking, okay,
Yeah.
who's that supposed to... Well, whatever. Then, Geekade's monthly music column is back. Will Lauren Elena, I don't know if I'm saying that right, live up to her American Idol potential? Has the XX reached their goal of making a more positive and expansive album? Do I know anything about current music?
No.
Does AFI have anything new to offer? Hey, I know this one. Why the hell did the Dropkick Murphys, I know that band, go to Texas to record their latest album? Janelle has the answers that I do not have.
No,
to
you
all
don't.
of these and more in Turn It Up, new music releases for January 2017.
I'm really excited that there's a new AFI record. I don't know if I want to listen to it, though. I love AFI, but I
It's coming
want
up a lot in this episode. I'm excited that things exist, but I don't want to do anything.
I want to keep loving them, and I don't want to hear their new shit and be like, oh, you boy. Finally, as we just learned last week, the DuckTales cartoon is being rebooted this year with a fantastic cast. What a better time to take a look at a related game that likely won't be rebooted anytime soon. Kris takes a look at DuckTales 2 for the NES and examines what went wrong with its release. Check out Lost in Time DuckTales 2. Spoiler, they didn't release very many copies of it. That's part of the thing that went wrong.
It's definitely a big part. And if you're wondering what we were talking about when Dan said, as we just learned last week, this is a copy-paste of the commercials that we read for our TV podcast this week's episode, where we talked about the DuckTales cartoon last week. So you can catch all this great stuff, this clearly well-edited stuff, plus tons of other articles, videos, podcasts, and more right now at geekade.com. And we're back. So we're going to jump right back into things, but before we do, we asked what games you were most excited for in 2017 earlier today on all of our various social media platforms. So here is what you said. Matthew Hanola on Twitter said, "New Zelda. I like the Elder Scrolls in Zelda. Now it looks to be all in one." I agree with that sentiment, Matthew.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Anthony Mann on Twitter said, "I'm going to say Gravity Rush 2, only because it's super worthy of a sequel. I'm unfamiliar with Gravity Rush."
PSP Vita exclusive. That's really fun.
I've heard of it. What kind of game is it?
It's not something that we can really explain in the time we have left.
Fair enough.
It's
right.
good, though.
5J Gaming on Instagram said, "Literally anything coming to the Switch, LOL. I am right there with you, 5J Gaming." Jamie Hill on Facebook says, Zelda or Mario? Tough choice for me. Also, Horizon Zero Dawn. That's a game that I actually forgot to put on the list in the first place. But when I read Jamie's comment on Facebook, I put it back on the list. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Jedi Knight Cheeto on Instagram, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, says, I just want Kingdom Hearts 3 already. Holy crap, the wait. You know exactly how we feel about Kingdom Hearts 3, and yes, it is absurd that it has been this long waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Evil Helmet on Instagram says Horizon Zero Dawn and Nier Automata.
Yes.
Automata? There you go.
I am in 100% agreement with former roommate Lord Evil Helmet.
Indeed. Yeah, good. I don't know nothing about Nier other than it's supposed to look really nice. And again, we'll talk about Horizon Zero Dawn a little bit later. Psycho Alien on Instagram says Marvel vs. Capcom Unlimited. Same here. We're stoked about that one, and I guess you could say we're stacked about it.
we're stacked and stoked.
We're clearly
stacks
stacked.
on stacks on stacks on stacks.
SSGSS Vegito.
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegito.
Yes, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegito _. On Instagram says For Honor. That's the Xbox One thing, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Wow. Yeah, I'm completely drawing a blank on that one.
I am an old man.
As am I. We are very sorry, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegito, for not knowing what you're talking about. We should be better video game podcast hosts, but thank you for writing in.
This is called the Stone Age Gamer, however. So
that's true. And we have no honor.
It's an Ubisoft game, PS4, Xbox One, PC. It is an online something or other.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm looking it up.
Nothing.
I hope this website doesn't have sound. I apologize if it does and pops up on the recording.
Down+B TV on Instagram. First off, I like your name. Second off, just says awesome. I agree.
I agree. This looks like online, like knights and fighting For Honor. I don't know. This might look cool.
All right. Neat.
Maybe it's a thing I'm into. I don't know. There's a samurai? Oh, now I'm into it.
Lud T Skywalker. I'm sure I'm butchering that. LUDT Skywalker on Instagram says, right now it's Night in the Woods. Dan, are you familiar with Night in the Woods?
I am not.
I am not either, so I'm going to move on to the next one, and you look up Night in the Woods.
Is that Knight or night?
No, night. Night as in day and night. Night in the Woods.
Actually, I think I might be familiar with this. Hold on.
I'm definitely not. The Nintendude, who I believe to be former Stone Age Gamer podcast host Mike Sheridan, on Instagram says, Cuphead, good call. Ukulele, good call. And Friday the 13th.
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of stoked for that too.
That does look pretty good. That definitely does look pretty good. I forgot all about that one too. Wasn't it supposed to come out like earlier this year, and then it was like, we can't make a game in 2 months. We're releasing it next year.
Yeah, something like that. I'm looking this Night in the Woods game. It is I think Destructoid here has sold me on it. The art style looks really cool. Like it's a really interesting animation style look to it. But it says Night in the Woods is an adventure game for millennials who shrug at Hot Topic. Yeah, I'm in.
Sold.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like the imagery of it, the art direction looks really, really interesting.
Very cool. Jeffrey Wittenhagen, who we've mentioned earlier in the episode, and you've probably heard of from previous episodes of the show.
Says
Double
Jeffrey.
Dragon 4. Right there with you, pal. Double Dragon 4 looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm so into that.
Yeah. Similarly, Frankie Viturello, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name, from Facebook says River City Ransom Underground.
Yeah.
Also looking like a damn good game. I feel like there was a River City Ransom game that just came out on 3DS earlier this year, or maybe that's the one he's talking about. It's coming out later. I don't know. I'm kind of confused on that. But either way, I looked this one up and it looks fantastic. So, huzzah for River City Ransom Underground. Hooray for beat 'em ups.
Yeah. The 3DS one was Tokyo Rumble.
That's right. Okay. And that one is supposed to be incredible. And this one looks great too. So, yay. Ray Commend from Instagram says Super Russian Roulette. This is what I was talking about earlier. We were talking about homebrew NES games. This game looks sick. Have you seen this, Dan?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. It's interesting.
It's Russian roulette with a zapper, in case you don't know what it is. There's a cowboy that talks to you through the NES with crappy NES sound quality, and you pass the zapper around the room playing Russian roulette with it. And if you wind up shooting yourself in the head and the bullet was in there, you lose. But if you're convinced that the bullet is in your gun, when it gets to you, you can try to shoot the cowboy's teddy bear or something on the screen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is ridiculous. I love it. What a crazy, stupid idea. I love it. I'm so happy this is a thing.
I doubt it would have gotten the Nintendo seal of approval, but
probably not. Yes, probably not. Stephen Levy from Facebook says, "Hopefully, Days Gone." Days Gone
is a PS4 exclusive that looks really, really awesome. Kind of in the vein of Last of Us sort of thing. That's that sort of 3D adventure, zombie outbreak, end of the world shit. But it looks really cool. It looks gorgeous.
I will have to look into it and then cry about the fact that I don't have a PlayStation 4.
Honestly, I don't think this is a thing that you would enjoy. I think you would be able to appreciate it, but it is very much in the Last of Us Uncharted vein. And it's got zombies, and zombies are played out, and whatever. But I'm still pretty stoked for it. It looks pretty great.
All right, Daniel Greenberg from Facebook says, "Hard Call, Cuphead, Persona 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, the new South Park, and whatever first-party titles the Switch will have to offer." That's a hell of a list, Daniel. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. The fractured butthole is.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm pretty excited.
And finally, Samantha Wheelo on Twitter says, "I'm excited for the new Zelda. I can't wait. Neither can I." I'm right there with you, Samantha. It looks amazing. So, yeah, big thanks to all you guys for writing in. Thank you very much for participating in our little poll question thing. I'd like to do more stuff like that in the future. I guess we will see.
Yes, now follow us on Twitter.
Yes, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and follow Stone Age Gamer and Geekade. Follow us all. All right, now back to our list.
Yay, Metal Gear Survive.
Next.
Fuck you. Done.
Metal Gear Survive. Blah.
Yeah, just no. And what sucks is that it's going to be the best game of the year. That's what sucks, is that it's going to come out and we're all going to pan it, and then people are going to be like, actually, no, it's pretty fucking good. And then we're going to play it. We're going to have.
You think Konami is capable of making a solid game?
It would with the way this year is shaping up,
it would just
figure that this will be the definitive Metal Gear experience.
Oh God, don't say that. I can't. Not with interdimensional travel and zombies. No, I just can't.
I don't know. No, fuck this game. I'm still gonna buy it, but fuck it.
Project Sonic 2017.
Could not care less about a new Sonic game. I
still don't know what it is. Sonic Mania, on the other hand, I know exactly what it is. That one I'm kind of jazzed about because it's a new traditional Sonic game that I believe. Another thing I should have looked into because I'm just.
No, you shouldn't have. It's a Sonic game. They're all terrible.
The interesting story about this is that I'm pretty sure they reached out to a lot of indie developers that were fans of Sonic. Like, Sonic Team was like, we clearly can't do this. Could you do this for us? And they got a bunch of really talented developers to make an interesting new 2D Sonic game. That looks like the Genesis game. So
it's going to be too many cooks in the kitchen.
I hope so. I mean, I hope not, but I don't know. I like 2D Sonic games. I hope that this comes out well.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn. This game looks freaking rad.
Yeah, I am so hyped for this game.
This game looks awesome.
after the trailer they showed off at the last PlayStation experience earlier in December. I was going to say earlier this month, but that would be a lie. Last month, where so far like all we had seen of Horizon Zero Dawn was like this kind of weird tech world that was happening out in the wilderness, and like you're hunting shit with your bow and arrow, and it looked really fucking dope, and like I really was excited about it. I was like, this game looks really good, and Guerrilla Games make really good games, and this looks really, really fun. And then all of a sudden at the end of that last trailer at the PlayStation experience, like a door opens and you go like into what looked like the underground in the Matrix, and it was like, oh my god, what the fuck is this about? Like, holy shit!
I did not see that.
No,
oh I didn't see that. I did what this game, like what I talked about earlier. I didn't want to see anymore because I don't have access to this game. I don't want to get jazzed for it. But Jesus, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, like this last trailer was just like, holy shit. God damn it, I need it right now. Like,
yeah, I'm very interested in this game. And you know what kills me to say is that I remember at E3 when they were showing this off, the E3 trailer, and I remember looking at that and being like, I mean, yeah, Zelda looks really nice, but this, like, God, I wish it looked as good as this. Like,
yeah,
gameplay-wise, I'm more interested in Zelda. Like, I'm again, really, I'm just so interested in the world they got coming out for Breath of the Wild. But, God, seeing what PS4 is capable of. Jesus.
Yeah.
This game is pretty.
I mean,
it's bright. It's colorful. It is not... I'm liking that the industry seems to be crawling out of its gunmetal gray dogshit brown obsession.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see popular games with color.
I agree. Yeah, I just put the trailer on now, and I'm watching it without sound. And yeah, like the end of this trailer, she opens like this fucking crazy door, and there's like some underground looking like shit behind it, and it's just like, what the oh my god, I need it. I need this right now.
South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
I mean, the game is called The Fractured Butthole. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That's awesome.
I played very little of the first one of these, but I was very impressed.
Oh, it was so fun.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's an RPG in the South Park universe, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I want more. This appears to be more of that. Keep it coming. Good job, guys.
Not for $60, but
yeah. Again, it's not on a platform I have access to anyway. So
$30, I'll buy it.
Good times. Tekken 7.
Well, see, here's the thing. They just announced a partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and you're going to be able to get alternate costumes for the characters to make them look like New Japan wrestlers, and like,
oh geez,
they can have Bullet Club shirts and shit, and
so they basically sold you on the game, right?
Yeah, they really kind of did. It's like I haven't played a new Tekken game in quite a while, but this one's got access to New Japan shit, and I'm a fucking mark, so yeah.
I gotta say, I'm not blown away with Akuma in this game, but
well, I mean, I don't know. I really enjoy the Tekken games. The last one I like seriously played, I think, was like Tekken 4, maybe. Mm-hmm. The last one that I was like really into. And I've dabbled in the other ones. The Street Fighter Cross Tekken games were pretty fun.
That's my problem, is that I want the Tekken Cross Street Fighter that they announced at the same time.
Right.
That was a really cool idea to put Tekken in the Street Fighter universe, and then put Street Fighter in the Tekken universe. And like, so Akuma is pretty interesting, but I can't help but be jaded because I want the whole freaking cast in a proper 3D fighting game.
Right.
Because the Street Fighter EX games blow.
Oh, they're awful. They're
Tekken
just awful.
Is a good 3D fighter. And so taking the Street Fighter characters and making them work in Tekken sounds really interesting to me. But instead, we're getting more Tekken. And it's been years. And I want them to follow through with that. I really, really do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably going to get it. It's time, though. Like, I mean, I kind of feel that way with certain fighting games of like, I haven't played Tekken in a while. This one's got a gimmick that I'm hooked on, with the New Japan crossover. So I'm like, all right, that's enough of a reason.
If they tossed a new Soul Calibur my way, I'd probably be jazzed because
oh my god,
I haven't played one in years. I skipped. I didn't do a lot in 3, to be honest with you. 3 kind of was too much at the same time, and 4, I'm not doing Star Wars characters in Soul Calibur.
Oh, I liked it.
No.
I enjoyed it. I have a topic that we can talk about next week. We'll get to it at the
Fantastic.
end here. That reminds me of something.
All right, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. What more could I possibly say about this game? We're going to talk about this more in depth after the Switch event. So, Breath of the Wild is coming out. We all know we want it. We all know I want it, and I'm pretty sure there are several other people on the planet that want it too.
I am completely uninterested. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually interested in it, but
ToeJam and Earl back in the groove.
I want it to be great. I just wrote an article, pairing a beer and ToeJam and Earl, and you can check it out on Bits and Brews right here on geekade.com. I want it to be great. I'm not confident it will be.
Really? I'm confident that it's going to be pretty similar to the original game. Because I'm reading the story of the sequels to ToeJam and Earl has been really interesting. And that this is the sequel to the first game that they wanted to make in the first place.
That's why I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah.
Because the actual sequels we got were not.
Yeah, like the second one, they were like, all right, we want to do more ToeJam and Earl. And Sega was like, cool, make it a platformer. And they're like, what?
No.
Like, platformers are big. Make it a platformer. And then, it came time for the third one. There was all sorts of back and forth on what kind of game they wanted it to be. And it turned into ToeJam and Earl 3, which is, it's not like the sequels were bad games, but they weren't ToeJam and Earl. Like, the original ToeJam and Earl was about
the soul of it.
Yeah, it was about walking around and finding crap and avoiding weird enemies, and that's what this game looks like.
Yeah.
It just looks weird. I love the art direction. It's really almost like Klasky Supo type animation, like old Rugrats and whatnot. It's really, really interesting looking. I also hope, I have very high hopes for it. I want it to be a modern take on the original ToeJam and Earl.
And PC only, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I feel like this is also going to come to consoles, but it's one of those things that's like going to take a little time before they announce that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
because it's been in development for a while. They're taking their time with it, but we'll see. Uncharted Lost Legacy, we just talked about this on the show pretty recently.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, looks good. Yay.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's more Uncharted. Naughty Dog doesn't make bad games. I mean, what more do you need?
Word. The Untitled Pikmin 3DS game.
God, I just don't care.
I'm a little interested in it. I'm a little interested to see how they make Pikmin into a 2D puzzle type game.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. It's a little offshoot.
My kids really enjoy watching Hank Green playing Pikmin 3 because Pikmin is such a slow game, he shot the video and then put it at 2 times playback. So his voice is funny and it's all sped up. And it actually makes sitting through a day in Pikmin somewhat enjoyable. I don't know. They're just not for me. They're
the franchise. I've given it a lot of attempts, and it's never clicked for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I said, my kids are into it, so
Pikmin 3
that means I'm kind of into
pretty
it.
Game. It's
a
really good looking game, and
it is.
And I want to like it a lot more than I do because I like the characters, I like the world it's set up.
Yeah, the characters are great. Santa Claus brought my daughter Katie a poison Pikmin plushie that she's really excited about.
Oh, that's adorable.
We had the other ones, and we could never. Santa Claus just wasn't able to ever find the white Pikmin plushie, and lo and behold, under the Christmas tree,
there he was,
next to the Yule log. There was the old Pikmin plushie. So,
I hope that that's a really cool game because I hope that's like the swan song for the 3DS. I hope 3DS goes out on a high note because it's time. The system's old AF, and
but the new 3DS.
I just hope it's Switch.
It's like watching Scott Pilgrim. Maybe you'll meet my new girlfriend.
I have every single hope in the world that it's just Switch, that it's a single console future for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because I want all of their games on one platform, be it portable or
You're so
home console.
selfish.
That's what I want, and I want them to figure out different configurations of the Switch that make it more easy for kids to carry around and less expensive for parents to need to buy multiples of. I want them to solve all those problems in a different way other than announcing a successor to 3DS, because that would just be silly. Because then they would have essentially 2 handheld consoles, and that's dumb.
Yeah. It could be the 4DS. It could have smell-o-vision.
Travel in time.
Yes.
Okay, this is honestly, and I hate to say this because like I am really excited for Zelda, but this is the game on the list that I'm more excited for than anything else.
Really?
Runner 3.
Really?
I love the Bit Trip series with every ounce of my soul, and this was the same situation when the Wii U came out. No matter what game they announced, I was more excited for Runner 2 than anything else. And that
Runner
game lived
2's
up
really
to
great.
every single one of my expectations. It's one of my favorite games I have ever played in my life. And Runner 3, I'm so jazzed about it. I'm so jazzed. It's coming out multi-platform. This was the game that I mentioned in Nintendo Force. They announced a new character for the game in Nintendo Force, but they couldn't confirm that it was coming to Switch. Or they were like, we could tell you to look at their history of releasing runner games on Nintendo platforms. We won't, but we could. It was a really great written article.
This new character's name rhymes with Smario, but we don't know.
Now, the new character was Sadbot, who's looks just like Commander Video, but he's made out of like a bucket, and so that looks great.
It's just such a charming series with incredible music, and it controls absolutely perfectly. Like, playing Runner 2 is one of the most joyful experiences when you get it right, but also one of the most frustrating experiences because the game controls so perfectly that the only way you don't succeed is because you fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, it's not because the controls are slippery or there's lag or any of that bullshit.
No,
it's
just your fault.
You didn't do good enough.
But yeah, it is. You summed it up perfectly. It is just a joyous experience. The first Runner and the second Runner. I mean, there's other games in the Bit Trip series that I love to varying degrees.
Right. But
I love
Runner
the first
is...
and last one from the original Bit Trip series, Beat, and I think Flux is the other one. It's called, whichever one's backwards, which is probably the most gorgeous rectangle I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know. Thomas was not alone. There's some pretty sexy rectangles in that game.
So yeah, Runner 3. I am beyond jazzed for this game.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Blaster Master Zero, we talked about on the show again recently. I wanted to mention it again because
I'm hyped on this too.
Yeah, this looks great, and I'm also really, really hoping that this is coming to other platforms as well, because it is coming to 3DS, and we talked about before it's probably a low budget thing. But much like Cuphead, I just hope that it does well enough to get. I mean, even I want it on Switch. I want to be able to sit back and play it on my TV is really what I want out of life. Because there's no way this is taking advantage of 3D or the touchscreen in any meaningful way.
No.
So I want a port of this on Switch so I can play it on my TV. That's really all I want. Monster Boy is one of 2 Wonder Boy sequel type things that are happening. Monster Boy is the one I won't be able to play because it's on PS4 and Xbox One and hasn't been announced for Switch yet. So
is this the one that Ollie is involved with, or is
yes, this is the one that Ollie is involved with. He's got some music in there, and there will be an NPC designed after him, which is super awesome.
That's so
Banjo
fucking
Guy
great.
Ollie, go listen to his music. He's amazing. And this game looks great. It looks very solid. It seems to follow up on the gameplay. It has the soul of a Wonder Boy game in it. So yay. Go look into this one. This looks like a really, really solid game, and it's also a new game. But I am more excited for the next one on the list, Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap, which is a game that is a full-on remake of the original Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap for the Sega Master System. And to my eyes, it looks as good as Cuphead, visually speaking.
Mm-hmm.
The animation is stunning in this game. This game is flat out gorgeous. I believe this one was announced for Wii U. I don't know if it's still coming out for the platform, because I know a lot of games have been jumping ship and moving over to Switch, because really, why release a game on Wii U at this point?
Right.
I fully expect the Switch's install base to be as big as the Wii U's by like the end of the first 3 months or something.
I would imagine so.
Because it's already got a lot of positive stuff going for it. But oh my god, both of these games, Monster Boy and Dragon's Trap, just look at both of these games. They're wonderful. If you've never played Wonder Boy 3, it's probably because you live in America, where it was very popular elsewhere in the world.
Right, criminally
but not so much.
underrepresented here in the States.
And it is one of the it's honestly it's ranks up there as one of the best games from the 8-bit era. It is so good. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you've heard me gush about this before when I played through it for the first time, and just I couldn't believe how good this game was. And watching every ounce of this new version of it, that you rarely see a remake that is done with this much care. I mean, this is beyond DuckTales Remastered levels, where
It really is.
because like DuckTales Remastered, it looked great, but there was the whole the animation was really solid, but it was against the 3D backgrounds and whatnot. It didn't look like, it didn't blow me away with its visuals. Dragon's Trap is hand drawn 100% of the way, and it is stunning. This game is just stunning. Cannot wait for it to come out.
I can't believe, because we're now at the end of our list, except for the 2 consoles. Mm-hmm. I can't believe you didn't include the new Madden. Madden 18 is coming, Chris.
That's a big surprise to everyone.
Right? Like,
shocker.
Everyone was really questioning whether or not we would get the 478th installment of the John Madden football franchise. I just wonder what they're going to do differently this year.
I don't know if I said this on the show before, but if Madden is coming to the Switch, I know exactly how to sell it. And like, seriously, if they do this commercial, this exact commercial, it will sell Switch consoles in the millions. Guy sitting on his couch playing Madden. Mm-hmm. He's eating pizza or whatever. He looks down at the pizza, he stands up, grabs the Switch, walks into the bathroom, keeps playing the game.
Done.
That's the whole commercial.
Sold.
Tell me that wouldn't sell a crap load of copies, pun intended.
It absolutely would.
Because segueing into talking about Switch,
well,
the Switch
there
event,
is one game you forgot about, though.
Oh, there is?
The new MLB The Show. And the only reason I bring it up, not because it's an annualized sports franchise that is amazing. This year, the cover athlete is Ken Griffey Jr., and there is a classic mode in the game where it looks to control very similarly to RBI baseball.
Really?
Like, when you move the character in the box, they just kind of slide around in their and they showed Ken Griffey Jr.
RBI baseball.
They showed Ken Griffey Jr. hitting a home run, and like, it's the modern graphics and whatnot, and the ball goes flies out, but there's still the pew kind of sound effect. And when it gets into the stands, like, this cheesy 8-bit shit comes across the screen, and it's just home run. Like, it was fucking awesome.
That's great.
I need this. I need the classic edition.
A great series. It's
it's phenomenal. I mean, I know we bag on sports franchises quite a bit on this show, but the show is just outstanding.
It is definitely.
And this looks really fun. Like, I'm into a Ken Griffey classic mode. Let's do it.
That sounds fantastic to me.
Yeah.
So I had the Switch. The hell was I even talking about? I had a whole transition thing going there.
John Madden, I'm sorry. Madden football into the Switch.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, there's a Switch event next week. It's next Thursday night at o'clock, so it's gonna miss. We record on Wednesday nights, so we're gonna have to wait until the following week to talk about the event. But really,
yeah, it'll be at 4:00 in the morning here.
Yeah, playing this game in the bathroom and in bed, like, I'm so jazzed for this console just by having it twofold, living up to the potential of the Wii U that never worked for me, which was the ability to take the game anywhere in my house,
right,
which it can't do, and being able to play it in the bathroom, which it can't do.
Right. Now, this looks to be... I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic in saying that I want one. Mm-hmm. again, it's really going to come down to the games, because if there is not exclusive stuff to the Switch that I won't buy one. You know, like, I mean, I bought the Wii U, and like Mario Kart 8 was super fun, and that's really like the only exclusive thing that I played on it, you know, that I really enjoyed. That's mostly because I'm not a big Nintendo gamer anymore.
I have a question for you about an exclusive rumor that's going around on the Switch.
7. That's my answer.
The rumor right now is that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be exclusive on the Switch for a year. Is that enough to make you get one?
No. Nope. I've waited this long.
That's right. You waited this long for Tomb Raider, so
yeah. Well, I mean, I waited a year for Tomb Raider. I've been waiting 15 years for Beyond Good and Evil 2.
You could wait a little bit longer.
Another year is, if things like Horizon Zero Dawn were not coming out, you know, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, the fact that I haven't even played Uncharted 4 yet, you know what I mean? Like, it's I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm necessarily different in that aspect than a lot of gamers, but like, I have such a backlog of really high quality stuff to play that the fact that Beyond Good and Evil 2 would be exclusive for a year, I probably wouldn't get to it this year anyway.
Now, what if it were just exclusive to Switch? Because the other rumor that I don't know if nothing's been debunked officially, but the other rumor is that it's like a Bayonetta 2 situation where Nintendo ponied up the money to help them actually make this game. So now what if it is exclusive to Switch entirely? Would that make you get a Switch?
Not necessarily at launch, but eventually. Like, that is a game that would sell the system for me.
All right. Good to know.
I think it would be a horrible move on Ubisoft's part to make that exclusive to Switch, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's been a ridiculous move on their part to not have the game.
That is a very, very good point.
So
it's a very fair point.
So who the heck knows? Switch, it's coming out this year. I'm pretty jazzed. We're going to talk about it a lot in the near future.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now, it's going to be a Switch-a-palooza.
It is. So the last thing we'll talk about is the Xbox One Scorpio.
Really, the only thing that this has going for it over the PS4 Pro is that I believe the Scorpio will be able to play 4K Blu-ray discs, which the PlayStation cannot. And
the 6 people that pertains directly to.
Right. Well, like, and I said something earlier this year, we talked about it, and I was like, you know, if they had announced that it would have that playback functionality, it would have been a purchase right away. But I thought about that since I made that statement, and I retracted a little bit because I realized I don't really buy movies anymore.
Me neither.
Like, I have Netflix, and Netflix happens to have the exclusive deal with Disney, which means I didn't buy Captain America Civil War because it was coming to Netflix, and Netflix streams in 4K, and the PS4 Pro can handle a 4K stream. So,
yeah, I mean,
I don't necessarily need it to have the disc option. You know what I mean?
Civil War as a gift to Karen because she loved that movie, and
it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
I love it. It was my favorite comic book movie last year.
It was darn good.
But I didn't buy it.
Buy movies really on posterity. I mean,
I'll probably buy it eventually.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, because I have the rest of them.
Yeah,
I'll get it eventually, but like, I don't need to buy the 4K Blu-ray copy of it because I can just stream it.
Yeah.
I have Fios. I'm fancy. You know, like, I have fancy high-speed internets. Like, I can handle, but my network can handle 4K streaming. And that's really all I need. Like,
mine can barely handle whatever the hell I got going on now.
Your 56K modem that Comcast has saddled you with. Fucking evil bastards that they are. But, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. The Scorpio is supposed to be so much more powerful than everything else. I don't know. Again, it comes down to the games, and like, I had a 360. I was never a big 360 guy. You know, I need something other than shooters, and I still feel like the Xbox is the shooter system.
I also feel like if Scorpio is that much more powerful than, say, an Xbox One, like, it's not like the PS4 and the PS4 Pro is already kind of segmenting the PlayStation audience a little bit, but it's not like it's not like they're making games that are only for PlayStation 4 Pro, you know? It's
right. They have to be playable on both.
Exactly.
But that's not the case with Scorpio, right?
I don't know. If the difference is that big, I can't imagine that's going to be a fun development environment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of similar to what I've been hearing about the Switch, but like that it runs. It's almost like overclocked when it's plugged in for the TV, and then it kind of downclocks for the handheld mode, which makes a lot of sense. But that's like that, and the kind of stuff that's going on with PlayStation 4 Pro is stuff that developers can work within. You know, if the Scorpio is going to be this like huge difference.
I mean, basically a brand new system.
And that's I don't get it. I
don't get it either.
It
seems the PS4 Pro seemed like a natural upgrade in the sort of world that we live in now with phone upgrades and computer upgrades and tablet upgrades. Like it made sense.
Yeah.
The Scorpio feels like a desperate move. It just feels different. I don't know. There's something.
But I can also kind of see where they're coming from.
It.
Because they released a friggin' like $100 controller and people ate it up.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's like they're looking at this like, well, I mean, there's enough high-end Xbox gamers out there that really want that status. Then they'll probably sell them. You know, it's not gonna take off in Japan, but they'll make enough money here in America. They'll make their money back on it. So
probably.
I'm not one of those people. I don't freaking get it. But,
yeah, I don't either. But
all right,
now fuck them.
And with that, we're calling it a night. All right, that is our show. Thank you for listening. Join us next week when Dan, what are we talking about next week?
We are going to talk about peripherals that should have been amazing but flopped for some unknown reason.
I like it. Good plan.
Proud
to be a part of it.
Thank you.
So there you go. I'll post another question about that on the interwebs. So once again, you can get in touch with us at mail@geekade.com, as well as all flavors of social media that we inhabit. You can like us on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Geekade, subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels for our latest and greatest video content. Follow us on Twitter at _Geekade. Find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Geekade Kris. That's Geekade KRIS, and Dan is at
Geekade Dan.
If you're interested in more information about anything we discussed here tonight, be sure to check out our show notes. And while you're at it, you can also subscribe to this and any of our other wonderful podcasts on iTunes and Stitcher. Or if you're super nice, you can leave us a review, because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. We'd also like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all of you folks. We'd also like to thank Mark TDK Knight for our show's theme, which you can check out on SoundCloud or Bandcamp, or his website, which we have a link to in the show notes. Again, always remember to keep your eyes on Geekade.com, where we post something new every single day, no matter what, no matter how much it hurts. Thank you again for listening, and on behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.